Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. Apologies for last week. We had some technical issues.
It was honestly so devastating because we filmed that episode twice and it's still like we didn't post it. It was still fucked up.
Yeah, both times were fucked, so we just gave up after that. We tried to persevere. Like, we recorded the whole first episode on, I think, Tuesday night. And, you know, we did a pretty good job. I felt like it was a pretty good episode. And then I pressed stop on the recording, and it said that, like, the audio was corrupted. And I was like, oh, God, here we go again. And this has happened before on the Bait Buffet. By the way, no one cares about any of this, but, you know, we'll give you the backstory.
This is, our reasons, our, excuses for why we didn't post an episode last week.
We tried.
I was really excited about last week's episode, too, because we just, talked about House of the Dragon, which is the show we're watching right now, and our whole personality at the moment.
It's our entire identity.
It's
this one show.
It's all we talk about. We talk about it every day. We send each other memes, TikToks.
Well, there's lots to unpack.
It's on our minds all the time. We're just waiting for each episode every week. So yeah, I was really excited, but so excited that we filmed it twice, and then yeah, it was just not meant to be.
So nice, we recorded it twice, but it was second time it was also corrupted. And this has happened before on the Bait Buffet, once before, and I thought it was because I had too many programs running. I had After Effects open, and I had Chrome, and it really shouldn't matter. But I was like, oh, that must be it. Too many applications are running. Because that was one of the suggestions of why it was doing this. I used Audacity to record. It's a free program, and I've been using it since I started filmmaking pretty much. And I know my way around the program. It's tight, easy to use. But yeah, it's just been having this issue. I don't know why this has never really happened before. So now we're using Adobe Audition. This is more of high-end program, way more complicated looking. I don't even know how to use it at all, but hopefully we won't have that issue of it just completely fucking us, because you don't know until you're done recording and you click stop and it's oh, actually your whole audio is fucked. On the Bait Buffet episode that happened to, we just uploaded the episode anyway. So there's one episode, I think it's called You Really Shouldn't Listen to This One or something, and the whole thing's just glitching out. But a few people said they actually listened to the entire thing. And I'm like, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you got through it.
I cannot watch podcasts or listen to podcasts that aren't really high quality.
I know. Yeah, it's tough.
It's sad because it's sometimes I'll want to watch one on YouTube that's kind of a topic that I'm interested in, but I can't. I won't do it. Yeah,
there's certain YouTube videos that I want to watch. There's this Scooby-Doo review that I wanted to watch, the Scooby-Doo movie that came out 14 years ago. Someone did a review on it, and his video was peaking the entire time. The levels were set way too high, and it was maxing out the sound, and it sounds really bad when you listen to something that's peaking. So it was really grating, and I was like, I can't even listen to this. But some people listen to that and they don't even notice. They're just oh, whatever. That's just how it sounds. So it's kind of personal preference. But yeah, you can hear a huge difference between when we first started this podcast and now. The mics are way better, and sounds way more professional and cozy. You're right there with the person, we're right in your bedroom talking to you in particular. You're our friend. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, all smooth sailing from here. We can talk about Game of Thrones a little bit if you want. I know we already talked about it twice, but
yeah, that episode, the last episode that came out was literally freaking insane. The episodes just get more and more crazy. They just pack so much into one episode that
I know
it's there's not a moment where you're like bored or it's like slow, because it's like they can't afford that. Like they just have so much like plot.
The story and plot is so abundant.
Yeah, that like they can't afford just to have like any like, you know, boring slow moments.
I know. I feel like every scene like progresses the plot in some way.
No, yeah, definitely.
It's refreshing to see in a television series. You're like, oh, this isn't just like bullshit. This is like actually like things are happening that are affecting like the story, and like consequences are like rolling through like each scene. Like there's like a domino effect. Like you see it happening in real time. You're like, whoa, this is engaging. And like this is really like exciting. And yeah, you contrast that to certain shows, or I would say probably most shows out now, and you're just like, oh wow, this is like what television should be.
Yeah, I literally feel like there's not even like any dialogue or like lines that the characters say that like don't progress the story or like reveal something about the character. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all very just like, it's super just like tight. Like, you know what I mean?
We're doing another time jump next week too.
Oh my god.
So many time jumps. Like this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Like they did the first major one halfway through the season. Well, actually, they've been doing this like since the beginning. Like the second episode is like a 2-year time jump from the first, and then the 6th episode is like a 10-year time jump, and then now the 7th episode is going to be like another like what, 10 years or something.
Yeah, because like after Allison married like Rhaenyra's dad, like the king, like there was like a time jump after that, because it was like we never saw like the wedding and we never saw her pregnant, but we saw like the baby being like 2 years old. So yeah, that was like a big time jump. Man,
Allison completely lost it this episode,
dude.
She's like the villain
crazy. Now she is.
You thought she was sweet and innocent, but she's actually harboring
she's just been letting this like
a darkness,
this like fear and like resentment like build up in her for like years.
I know, it's like it's on now,
like 10 years or like
I was kind of feeling
years.
that like with the show, like is this like takeover motivated enough? You know, I was like, I know what they're all pointing towards. You know, they're setting us up so that these two families are at war with one another for the crown. But I was like, is there enough, like, I know there's a lot of like seething like resentment over time, but is there enough like anger and ferocity in this like feud to really like drive it? And then it's like this episode happened and I'm like, oh, okay, now I feel like it's very motivated. Like the characters have real reason to like, you know, hate each other. And yeah, it's pretty sick. So you just know it's gonna be a fucking bloodbath pretty soon here. Heads are gonna start rolling. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, so shit, I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah,
I love how the show like a lot of it is like driven by, I mean, I feel like this is probably just like the case for like most shows, but I just feel like a lot of this story implies like driven by like Rhaenyra and Allison's like emotions kind of, and like their like feelings, and
they're
like
basically the two leads.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
but
which is cool.
I feel like there's a lot of plots, or like there's a lot of stuff kind of, or themes of like kind of motherhood and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of like childbirth scenes.
Yeah, and like I like how
it's very like female centric.
Yeah, like Allison had like her freak out basically, like this all came to like a head, like, you know, a head or whatever, because Rhaenyra's son, they got into like a physical fight. Like Rhaenyra's son and like Allison's son were like physically fighting, and Rhaenyra's son like slashed Allison's son in the face, and it ended up like taking his eye. And that like sent Allison like into like an insane like breakdown moment, and she was like really pissed off, and like that's basically how, you know, that whole like insane moment started.
He got a cool dragon out of it though.
Yeah. And then
that dragon riding scene was awesome. I mean, I wish I could have seen it. But it was great.
Yeah, like it was this episode was just like dark as fuck like the whole time.
There was a lot of day for night shooting, like really bad day for night shooting. Because usually the show has really great cinematography, but Man, I don't know what the issue is. Sometimes these filmmakers, I think they're just like too cozy and they're like perfect projected theatrical cutting rooms where, you know, it's all dark. I mean, we watched it in a dark room. We watched it on a projector though, so maybe that had an issue.
I was thinking like, oh, like it's shitty because we're watching it on this projector. But then I saw memes like about it.
Yeah, it made me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just me, because this has been an issue with Game of Thrones in the past, in the last show, where it's like stylistically foggy or misty, and it's just like it just looks really washed out and bad. Especially when you do day for night, like even if when you do it really well. Like in Nope, they recently, I haven't seen Nope, but I know they did a lot of day for night, and that you can just tell because of the shadows on the ground. You can just tell like that's not what night looks like, you know, in real life. But yeah, night shooting is really challenging because you have to bring out a ton of fake artificial lights and kind of motivate it and make it feel real, and requires a lot of like cranes, and especially if, you know, if you're in a more exotic location, that can be even more challenging. You have to lay down, you know, impermanent tracks for the tractors and the trailers that bring out these big fat cranes, and yeah, it's a whole like operation. You know, it's like a freaking mobilization of manpower and will to get you know a night scene shot. So I can understand why, you know, it's probably cheaper to do day for night, but yeah, I think they needed to find a way to brighten up the image and make it more stylized, or you know, so it pops at least. You can't just dim the entire image. It was like when your phone's like on a really low brightness setting, like you just bring down like the white value of everything, and it just looks like super dim. But yeah, other than that, I think the show's been perfect cinematography wise, like so far. Like that was the first time I was like, this could definitely be better. But yeah, all the VFX and all the visuals have been really well integrated and jaw-dropping so far. Like the animation on the dragons is like, I think they've really like mastered it. Like I've never seen, granted I don't see a lot of dragons in media too often, but this is definitely like the most fully realized, like realistic dragon I've ever seen portrayed on film.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. They're a lot bigger than the dragons in the original series too. Like I saw an image comparing like Daenerys riding her dragon versus like Aemon. Is it Aemon?
I think so.
The little boy with the cut on his face. Yeah, versus his dragon, which is like, you know, 4 times as big. But yeah, that Aemon guy, he really, we saw a little preview for episode 8 at the end of this episode, and like it, you know, it shows that there's another time jump, and it's like he's got this big fat scar, and he's older now, and he's like got the eye patch, and he just looks like a straight up villain. So
yeah,
and you could tell he was a little shit. Like all of Allison's kids are like just total like pompous shitheads. So like yeah, I'm kind of excited to see like what they do with his character.
Yeah, I like that about the show, is that like I just like this idea of kind of all this like political kind of like burden like being placed on like children, like, you know what I mean, and like they're just kids, like they don't really like care, like, you know what I mean, like they're just like trying to live their like little kid lives.
Yeah, like
especially like her oldest son, who is like, you know, like he's supposed to be the king, and that's like who everybody's kind of expecting to be the king, like after Viserys dies. But like Rhaenyra is technically the heir. And then yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say is like Rhaenyra is being fucking like played by her uncle Matt Smith.
Oh, big time.
That's who I like. My prediction for the show, I don't know anything about the books or like what is like supposed to happen or whatever, but I just like 100% get the vibe that like Matt Smith, like her now husband, is like gonna like murder her for like the throne, because that's how this whole thing started with her, right? Like before Viserys had a son, his younger brother, like Matt Smith, Daemon, was like the heir, and then Daemon pissed off Viserys in like the first episode, and then so Viserys made his daughter Rhaenyra the heir, And then like Damon's like using his like he's like manipulating Rhaenyra into like falling in love with him and marrying him. And then Rhaenyra is like none the wiser though. Like Rhaenyra is like just totally like, this is what I mean like when I say like all this like political stuff, like hedging on like women's like emotions and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like she is just like not like thinking about like the implications of this, or like that he could be like power hungry, and like he's not above like murdering his wife.
Right, he's already murdered one.
So like he will do it again. Like,
yeah, he's not above anything.
Yeah,
he's just a snake in the grass.
When he's like about to do some sneaky shit, he has his like little sneaky cloak.
Yeah, he's got a shifty robe.
He always wears it.
Every time like some like back alley deal has to be made,
yeah,
he pulls that thing out, and you know he's up to no good. I like laughed my ass off when I saw him in the robe at the end of the most recent episode, because this is like the third time he's been in this robe and like done some like, you know, goofy shit. Some like some shit he shouldn't be doing. His first, you know, was like when he like seduced Rhaenyra. You know, she was like 16 or whatever, and he's like her uncle, obviously, and he's like takes her out into the, you know, the town. You know, he dresses up in his little snake robe, and he like leaves like a trail of breadcrumbs for her to follow. So she follows him out, and he dresses her up like a little boy or whatever, and then so ratchet. And then they go to like some play, and then they go to some fuck house, and he starts like making out with her, and like takes her pants off and starts like diddling her or whatever. And then he just leaves her high and dry, like
naked, like in this like
random area.
Brothel.
Yeah, that was perfect. Like that's exactly like, that's like manipulation tactics 101. Like get a bitch like super wet and then just fucking straight up bounce. Yeah, like don't even care, like whatever, I got better things to do, like you're not my number one priority, you know. And then that made her feel all like, you know, insecure, and that makes her want him even more. And so she goes and fucks, you know, Sir Kristen Cole, Krispy Kreme, instead, you know, to get her rocks off or whatever. And, you know, now Krispy Kreme's on Allison's side because he was scorned.
He was so pissed because he was like, Rhaenyra, like run away with me. Right. Like he was like down bad for Rhaenyra, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, you were just my rebound because my fucking uncle didn't fuck me that night.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was horny, and
you mean nothing to me.
He was like, you could be my side piece, like, and he was like, you want me to be your whore.
Yeah, he was not about sad. That was funny. But yeah, and then he threw the cloak on again, Damon, you know, to kill his wife with the rock, you know, and just bashed her brains in. Thankfully we didn't have to see that, you know, cut away before we saw that, but it was implied, you know. And then he throws on the cloak a third time when he's got to take out another he's
got to get rid of Rhaenyra's husband.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
To slide in there.
Another partner. Yeah. So it's just when that cloak goes on, you know, some bad shit's gonna go down.
Like the thing is about like Rhaenyra and Daemon is that they've just been like, well, Rhaenyra has been like pining for Daemon for like decades, like her whole life.
Her wanting it, yeah.
Her whole life, she's just been like wanting him and like really admiring him, and
they have their like secret language they talk to each other in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was like literally like the first episode. I was like, am I just horny? Like, am I just like reading into this like during their scenes? Like, I was like, I have to just be like horny, right?
You always think that.
No.
It's like you thought that about Kylo and Rey too.
Yeah. I'm just like, this isn't happening. Like, I just have, you know, I just have a dirty mind.
You just want to ship everybody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I was right.
No, that's how they set it up. Yeah, that's how they wanted it to go. I knew it was set up from the beginning because I know the Targaryens' track record, and they all fuck each other and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I said that. Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, I would say to Forrest while we were watching this, I was like, why do I feel like she wants to fuck her uncle? Like, is that gonna happen? And he was like, well, yeah, they kind of are like known for incest, so it could possibly happen, and it did.
Yeah, no one really cared. Like, people actually actively kind of encourage the incest, like the king and other people. It's kind of like a much more normalized back then.
Yeah.
The whole incest thing. Today, you know, we know that is not healthy, and you shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
It's literally just like biologically like your body tries to like deter you from like your family members and stuff.
Right.
So like I don't know why like Rhaenyra's like thing isn't working like that.
It's just funny because like from a distance they look like the same person.
Yeah.
I mean, Rhaenyra's shorter or whatever, but they both have like the long white hair. Like they're basically like fucking themselves. Like
yeah.
It's fucking disgusting and also hot at the same time, and I don't like it.
It's hot because it's freaking like Matt Smith, and like when it was like that one, like the younger version, like Millie.
Yeah.
Like her name.
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah.
No.
No?
Not Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby? Billy?
No.
Billy from Stranger Things? Is he in the show?
No.
Damn. What was he in recently? He was in Elvis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta see that guy in more stuff. But, yeah, Millie Alcock, unfortunately. Alcock is not in the show anymore. Damn. But, you know, I think the new Rhaenyra is pretty good, too.
I actually like the age up.
Yeah, it was necessary.
Yeah, I wasn't, like, super on board with it at first, because I was like, oh, but I like that girl.
Right.
I like Millie, and I like the girl that played Alicent, too. But then...
She played Alicent 1.
Yeah.
Olivia Cook plays Alicent, too.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's necessary because they have, like, teenage children now, and, like, the time jump.
Yeah, and then there's another time jump, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they really couldn't play it at that age.
Yeah.
So are they going to have another recast? Like shit at this rate. I mean, I wonder like how many more time jumps we're going to have like by the end of the first season.
I know, like how old are they going to be?
Is this like a show that's only going to last for one season, or like I wonder what their plan is. Like are they going to stretch it out to like 6 seasons like the original show, or is it going to be more like just 1 or 2 seasons? I don't know. It just seems like they're jumping around like so fast like But at this rate, they're going to run out of, like, life for all these characters.
Yeah, I almost just feel like it's, like, just this one season.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope they keep it up.
Because I feel like if it wasn't, they would just, like, make season 1, like, the whole first, like, 2 episodes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Like, so, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very similar to the original Game of Thrones, but it's also, like, much smaller scale, so the story like kind of evolves a lot quicker. Like in the original show there are so many different stories that you'd only get like a little bit of development on the plot for like a certain story every episode, and sometimes they wouldn't even cut back to certain characters during an entire episode, so it would just take much longer for a story to progress throughout the season. Whereas this, it's kind of just like this one story with a few different characters, and yeah, everything's moving like very, very quickly, so it's pretty exciting. But yeah, that's Game of Thrones. Hopefully you're watching it by now. Don't miss out. Watch the fucking show. If you haven't started watching it, like, why are you listening to this? This is fucking stupid.
You won't regret it if you watch it.
Yeah, like
you'll like it.
Yeah, watch the goddamn show, guys. Stresses me out thinking about the people who are listening to this who aren't watching the show right now.
Mm-hmm.
I start like sweating thinking about
they're missing out,
how much they're missing out on. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of trudge on through the news today. Pull up the old Twitter For You page and see what's hot on the list of topics. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Just how amazing the weather has been recently.
Oh yeah, it's been great.
I love this time of year. Like October is just like so nice.
Oh yeah, happy October, everybody.
It's like Halloween time.
The best month of the year.
Yeah.
I think so. It's my favorite month.
Mine too.
Orange is my favorite color. Fall time, I'm thinking flannels. I'm thinking pumpkin patches.
We've had so much like pumpkin cream cold brews from Starbucks recently.
That's the pumpkin cream cold brews. Alyssa would like to make a comment to Starbucks to create a drink that's just the foam.
Listen, when I say I want extra pumpkin cream cold foam in my pumpkin cream cold brew, I want like half of that cup to be cold foam and
Mostly
then like
foam.
the other half be cold brew. Because I asked for it today and I feel like they just gave me like the same amount.
Do they charge you more?
Probably.
I think they charge you like $1.25 for like more foam. Pretty sure. It's like an add-on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that foam's so good though. Okay, so here we go. Some hot news today. Elon Musk to proceed with $44 billion purchase of Twitter.
Nice.
Elon Musk sent a letter to Twitter Inc. on Monday seeking to revive his bid for the company at the original offer price of $54.20 a share, provided that the Delaware Chancery Court enter an immediate stay of Twitter's lawsuit against him and adjourn the trial scheduled to begin in 2 weeks, according to a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Twitter, in a statement on Tuesday, said that the company intends to close the transaction at the offer's price. Shit, so he's actually going through with it. Man, this has been like building for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was going to buy Twitter like a long time ago, and then he said he like wasn't going to buy it. Like, I don't even know what to believe anymore.
I love how Elon is always like doing something. He's like
super
busy.
He is busy.
And like every like aspect of his life. Like I feel like he's always has like a baby on the way or like a brand new baby.
Yeah.
He has like lots of kids.
Yeah, a lot of these billionaires, they, for them it's not about the money anymore, because he could have cashed out and broke down a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really about the using his money to achieve the goals that he wants to achieve, which is pretty interesting to watch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really all for Elon buying Twitter if it means like what he says it's gonna mean.
Yeah.
Like freedom of speech, like he's not gonna censor anybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of like shifty, shady shit that goes on behind the scenes with Twitter and YouTube and all the social media platforms, where they'll have bots, comb through all the data that's uploaded every day. And if you say a certain thing or say a certain word or a selection of words together in a sentence, it'll like ban you or block you. You won't know that you're banned or blocked from certain people, but it'll like either promote you less or it'll put you on like a kind of a hidden blacklist.
Like a shadow ban.
Yeah, I think they call that a shadow ban. This is like, I'm like explaining this to you guys like you guys don't already know what the fuck I'm talking. Why do I do this podcast like I'm talking to my grandparents about something? Like, you guys know what a shadow ban is. I don't know why I'm taking 3 minutes to explain it, but yeah, it's bait. Yeah, so it would be cool to have a situation where Elon cleans up the muck in the fucking censorship and makes Twitter a place where you can actually speak your mind without having to worry about being censored, because I think everyone should be allowed to speak their mind, and you don't have to follow that person. If you don't like what they have to say, it's an open platform where you can respond to what they say and then they can respond back. It's kind of the nature of debate and dialogue, and obviously you're not going to like everything everyone has to say, but that's kind of the point of Twitter, is to talk to each other and hear different ideas and debate, and even get angry if it calls for it. But censoring someone is almost like an admission of defeat in my eyes. Like, I can't argue with this person, or I feel like I'm superior to them, so I'm gonna go ahead and make it so that they can't say what they want to say. And that's where you get into like kind of a dictatorship-y kind of role. And yeah, I don't think Twitter should be run like that personally. I know a lot of people don't like Elon Musk or whatever, but yeah, I think in terms of what he's trying to do for Twitter, it sounds like a good thing. But some people might be like, you know, mad about it. I don't know. I've seen some people are upset about it, so it's kind of a controversial thing. But yeah, I definitely don't like the way like Twitter and YouTube and especially Instagram. Instagram's one of the worst offenders. They like, and TikTok too. TikTok and Instagram are pretty hardcore sensory. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of a problem that's only going to get worse if people like Elon don't kind of stand up and do something about it. Let's see. And yeah, just as a public, we should be less, you know, we should be like more mad about censorship. We should be like less okay with censorship. It seems like a lot of people support it, and it kind of comes from like a good place. Like they don't want to support, you know, hate speech and stuff, which it totally makes sense. But yeah, I think if you censor it, then it's only going to get worse. And the people who feel that they should speak out in hate against a certain, you know, group or whatever, they're going to feel even more vindicated by being censored. And yeah, I think people who have like hate in their hearts and who want to, you know, express that hate towards a certain group, like those are the kind of people who are kind of seeking attention, and they kind of need someone to like be there for them to explain it to them. Unfortunately, you know, and it puts people, you know, who believe the other way in kind of a difficult position. And it might be easier to be like, oh, let's just censor them. But if you actually want to cure the problem and not just exacerbate it, I think that's like, yeah, kind of a bullheaded move to just censor everybody. So anyway, Velma is officially a lesbian in the new Scooby-Doo film. I wasn't aware this was a film. I thought this was the Mindy Kaling show that she was developing. I thought she was developing I heard that Mindy Kaling was developing some sort of Scooby show, and it was going to be like adults and have like, you know, crass humor, kind of similar to the Harley Quinn show that's been coming out recently on HBO Max. But this is some sort of new movie apparently, and I haven't heard of this, but it looks good. Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo. Is this coming out like this year? I hope so. I mean, that would make sense, right? Like it's coming out like soon. Clips from the new movie Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, which show the Mystery Inc. member googly-eyed when encountering costume designer Coco Diablo, have gone viral, confirming suspicions held by the fan base for decades. Yeah, I saw some like clips from this movie, and the animation looks pretty cool. Like it's kind of all hand drawn. You see a lot of shows like Rick and Morty style, or like Archer, or like even my show like Eames and Barry. They're kind of like more based on like 2D puppet contortion, like in After Effects. Where Rick and Morty is like really advanced, like it's basically on par with 2D or hand drawn kind of frame by frame animation, but it's just got a completely different look. So it's kind of nice to see a return to like just fully animated, where the characters kind of contort and stretch in very unique kind of ways where they're kind of off model, I guess, in a sense, like slightly off model every frame, which is nice. Yeah, I feel like it looks like there's some money and effort and artistry put into it, unlike a lot of like the more recent Scooby offerings. Like I think there's like the Be Cool Scooby-Doo show. I never saw that. That was kind of done in the Rick and Morty style. And then there's like the kind of the straight to video movies that come out. I never really watched those though, because they're kind of made for kids. But this looks like it's going to be more aimed at adults, which I'm kind of interested in. So yeah, I'm excited about this. What do you think about Velma being a lesbian, honey?
That's cool.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
You're not against that, are you?
No.
You're not you're not a homophobe, are you?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've all kind of known that like Velma was a lesbian for a while, right?
I mean, I didn't think that.
Really? I mean, because for me, like, I mean, Twitter is like all ablaze from this news, and I feel like I've known this for like a long, long time. I guess it's nice to have the confirmation, I guess.
What do you mean you've known it for a long, long time?
I mean, you get that vibe. That's why in the Mr. Incorporated show, which was a really good show, by the way, that was the best, the best, most recent Scooby thing was the Mr. Incorporated show. And in that show, she's dating Shaggy. And I always thought that was like weird. Like, seemed awkward and forced. Like, that wasn't, ever a thing
Yeah,
before.
I wouldn't want her to date Shaggy. That is weird.
She was like a huge bitch in that show too. That was like one of the reasons I didn't like that show, even though I really like the art style and like most of it I've seen the whole series and it's a good series overall, but like she's written so annoying and it's like, can she just be like cool like Velma, like how she usually is? But apparently the show's creator said that was his intention all along. Like they were setting her up to be revealed as a lesbian in season 2 or whatever. But then the studio like wouldn't let them, so that's why she was like, trying to date Shaggy because, she was in denial of her actual, sexual intentions. And here, this is what he wrote on Instagram. He says, I've said this before, but Velma in Mystery Incorporated is not bi. She's gay. We have always planned on Velma acting a little off and out of character when she was dating Shaggy, because that relationship was wrong for her. Yeah, poor Shaggy. Got fucking jilted. A jilted lover. Do you think Shaggy put it in Velma's pot pie?
Well, probably not. If she's gay. She probably like just made like a bunch of like excuses like why she couldn't do it.
In the show, yeah, she was like all over Shaggy, but then Shaggy never paid any attention to her because he always wanted to hang out with Scooby-Doo, implying that they might have had some sort of also sexual gay relationship. I mean, because Scooby is like of sexual maturity for his species.
Not just gay, like that's called something else, babe.
But the thing is, like, is Scooby even technically a dog? Because he can speak and communicate. He has like a mind.
Yes, he's a dog.
Right. He is technically a dog, but like, is it really bestiality? If you were to fuck Scooby, like, I saw a really good video on this recently.
What?
And the question is, like, out of the 4 members of the Scooby-Doo besides Scooby, who's the most likely to fuck Scooby-Doo? And you think,
Wait, so people are like spending their time like making videos about this and pondering this.
It's an interesting question.
That's like really weird.
Because everyone, as they explain in the video,
I'm judging this person who made this video, and I'm judging everyone who's ever thought about this.
I mean, I'd never thought about it until this video, but now that I saw the video, I can't stop thinking about it. Because, like, everyone has an idea of who's most likely to fuck Scooby-Doo, right? Like, automatically. Like, what do you think?
I mean, like
if you're being honest, like,
yes.
out of the 4, like, who's most likely?
Like, probably Shaggy, I guess.
Really? Interesting. Why? What's your reasoning there?
Because they're like, I don't know, babe.
They're inseparable.
The thing is, like, I just, like, don't even think, like, anyone would fuck Scooby because Scooby's a dog.
But he has sentience.
So?
He can, like, talk.
What?
I mean, like, I don't find Scooby...
But he's a dog.
...hot, but, if other people did, I couldn't say, like... I couldn't tell them, like, hey, that's wrong, I'm not going to get in the way of their love. Like, if someone was fucking an actual dog, I'd be like, hey, stop, that's fucked up. Like, don't do that to that dog. Like, you should go to jail, right? Like, if they refuse to stop, But, like, with Scooby, if one of them was, if they were lovers and they were in a consensual relationship, I couldn't rightfully be like, hey, you guys, break it up, I'm not here to enforce the laws, like, enforce my own will on these people. They're in love.
There's only one person
What do you mean?
You said, like, I'm not here to force my will on these people.
Like Scooby and his lover.
Scooby is not a person.
He is, though. He can talk. He can think. He has, like, ideas and, like, wants and desires, and he expresses them.
So,
he's like an adult.
So, you're fucking with me.
I'm not saying I like the idea, but I couldn't rightfully tell them to... I couldn't try to, like, get them in trouble for it. See what I mean?
See, my problem is that I like don't realize that Forrest is fucking with me until like really deep into the
the bit. I'm not fucking with. This isn't a bit. I'm saying
like the bit will go on and on and on, and I'm just still like,
this isn't a bit. This is not a bit. If Scooby-Doo was real, if he was an actual canine who could speak and you could have a full conversation with, and he had a lover, say like a human lover, would you want them to be like separated by the law? Would you want them to be arrested?
I don't think the law needs to play a part in this, because
right.
I just think that like this person is like why would you like do that? Like, it's a dog.
Have you ever heard of Bad Dragon?
No.
It's like this website where they sell like dildos that are in the shape of like different animals, penises and shit.
Babe, that's fucking disgusting.
Like, they have like fantasy creatures too, like dragons and like aliens. And you can like load it up with like little egg sacs and like have the eggs like deposited into you.
I've seen like that, like wanting to fuck like aliens. Like that's
maybe they don't sell animal parts. I don't know. I Mason showed it to me one time. I think I've only checked out the website a handful of times, and I've only ever seen them have like dragons and like aliens. They might have horse cocks or something too. I don't know. That might be a little. Maybe I'm slandering them. They probably don't actually. Now that I think about it,
that's like
that'd be pretty fucked up.
That's just weird. Like, I'm just
yeah.
I
don't know what they got there. Let's go check it out. Honestly.
That's fucking.
I'm gonna show you some images and get your first reaction here. But yeah, so like if I was to guess who would be most likely to fuck Scooby-Doo, I think it would be Velma, because she's got that kind of vibe. Let's see.
The like number one like costumes for like lesbian like porn creators to wear, like if it's like a girl on girl scene, is like Velma and Daphne. Like, that's like all I like. That's like the number one, like the one I've seen most often. It's
always a big porno thing. Yeah. Like when I was scrolling through the Velma hashtag, like I guess I scrolled, just through all the main stories about the new show coming out, and then I just started seeing all this like filthy, disgusting porn.
Remember, was it like last Halloween when someone that TikTok was going around of like there was like a group of people, like I think it was like all guys. I don't know. It was like a group of people and they all dressed up as Velma and then for Halloween, and then they were like on their hands and knees like in a circle like crawling in a circle, and they were all saying like, "Where's my glasses?" It was so funny because it just looked like so crazy and like demonic and like
that's awesome. I've never seen that before.
I feel like you probably have seen it. I would have sent it to you.
I would remember that.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so
that's hilarious. Good, dude.
Like,
yeah, when I was a kid I never realized like the sexual implications of Velma on her knees.
Glasses? Like, yeah, it was so funny.
Like with her skirt and everything. Like, yeah. I mean, Velma's definitely like a repressed, horny nerd. Like, so it just kind of makes sense that. Okay, so I'm on Bad Dragon right now.
Here's
a few dildos. Why don't you scroll through these? Why don't you choose one you like, and we'll make it your next Christmas gift. Choose one you like and then forget about it.
Like I was thinking about this, or like I have thought about this in the past. I don't think I would like a dildo, like, because
You're not a dildo girl?
like part like the basically like 80% of like the like fucking experience is like that it's like attached to a person. Like the dick is like attached, like it's like the person you're fucking. It's not like the dick. Even though like
Maybe you've never had like a nice big cock before.
maybe the dick like the dick feels good, but it's like the just like the whole. I'm like more of like a holistic like sex person, not just like.
I think if you had like a really large cock, like maybe you change your mind. Maybe you'd be playing a different tune.
I mean, I think your dick is pretty big.
Guys, my dick is extremely average. It falls into like the mathematical like certainty for average in the US. Like I looked it up.
It feels like big to me when you're fucking me.
That's good.
So like, I mean, yeah, maybe if I had like a huge dildo in me, it would be like life changing, because I've never used a dildo before. I think I might have once when I was doing porn.
They never include the girth,
but I didn't,
and the measurements either.
I didn't use it just for like fun. Like it was kind of for like my like work or whatever.
Because we know the average cock size in America is like 5.5 inches or something like that. I forgot what it was exactly, but they never include the like width of the penis.
I'm looking at all these dildos, and basically the only, I mean, most of them look pretty normal. They're just like different color. They're like blue or like, green or something.
There was one that was weird. It was kind of like a paw. You see that one?
Yeah, Duke's paw.
What's Duke's paw?
That's weird.
I haven't seen any like flat out like horse cocks yet. Like they're all kind of like alien species.
I think it's kind of like the idea is just like just kind of like different textures that might feel good like inside your vagina, or like different kind of like shapes, and stuff. Like I don't think it's necessarily like about like oh, like an alien is fucking me. Like it's just kind of like, oh, like all these like.
I'm not kink shaming anyone.
I definitely will kink shame people.
I'm not here to judge.
I am.
I'm here to, as long as no one, everything's consensual and no one's getting hurt. I'm all for whatever these people want to do. Like, as long as they don't do it, in my vicinity, then I think we'll be okay. But yeah, some of these are kind of weird, like the David's paw. Is that you're supposed to just put the whole paw up your pussy?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird. Duke's paw. This kind of looks like a satanic one. You guys can check this out if you want. It's on baddragon.com. Let's look up the average size of the American penis here real quick.
I think it's like 5 inches.
Of the American penis. The average erect penis length was estimated as 6 inches. Wow. And circumference is 5 inches. Oh, so they do include circumference. Yeah, I don't think my penis is 6 inches.
No, we've measured it before.
I think it's less than 6.
When we measured it, I think it was like 7.
No. Not even close.
Get out a freaking ruler.
Well, I'd have to get hard first. I'm not going to do that on the podcast.
We'll measure it later. No, like
a 2020 review of research on penis size found the average length of an erect male penis between 5.1 inches and 5.5 inches. So that's a whole inch shorter than what this other website said. So I guess it's kind of up in the air. The knowledge isn't exacting. This one says, another website says 5.1 to 5.5. Average penis, real data, forhims.com. Average size penis measures approximately 5.2 in length, with an average circumference around 4.6. I've actually never measured their circumference before.
Yeah, you would need like a tape measure, or like a, like a soft measuring.
We'll say it's somewhere between 5 and 6. But yeah, I think maybe if you had like a really big cock, like
I don't know why you're throwing yourself under
long.
the bus, or like why you want your cock to be smaller.
I don't have a small cock. Babe, it's just average. Babe, it's extremely average.
You're average, but like it's not. But like you're not like under 6 inches. Like you're like we have measured it and it's 7. You were probably just high and you don't remember. I remember it because when I was doing like porn and stuff, like people would ask me, like, what's like the biggest dick you've had? And I was like,
biggest load you've ever taken.
And I was like curious, so we like measured it. It was like years ago. That's probably what, and like it was like when you're probably high.
Yeah, I probably was high. That's a safe bet.
But yeah, and I would tell people like 7 inches.
Well, we're going to have to remeasure because I'm not even sure.
Do you think it like shrunk or something?
No, if anything, it's just gotten girthier. I mean, I think as you age, you kind of just get thicker in general. Like, you ever notice like men, like they kind of start out scrawny, and then by the time they're an old man, they're kind of just thick in every area.
Yeah.
I guess some old men are kind of gangly, like kind of Slenderman looking. That's more rare. It's all like the bloating, I think your cock bloats up too.
You're not like old. You're like not even 30.
How old am I?
I think you're 28.
That's old, babe.
But you're not 30 yet.
Basically.
Yeah, basically 30.
Basically 30. Man, you ever think like the Mandalorian might be gay?
I have no idea.
What other beloved characters can be gay?
That was like another thing that happened in in House of the Dragon was like, freaking like Rhaenyra's husband is gay, and he like ran off with his gay lover.
Oh, that was great. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, proud of them. I was like, kind of like, sad when it seemed like Daemon was, paying off his gay lover to kill him. It was like classic Daemon, and then it turns out it was a kind of bait and switch, a little switcheroo action with the classic burnt corpse. But yeah, that's like rough on the mom and the dad. Like, I couldn't do that to my parents, even if I wanted to like run away with my gay lover and not be, because that was like his whole thing. Like, he didn't want to be, royalty. It was too much of a burden, The crown weighs heavy on one's head. So I understand him wanting to get away, but I don't know if I could do that to my parents. Maybe he fucking just hated his parents. I don't know. But yeah, his mom seemed really, obviously that's his mom. And her son's literally been burned alive. Gosh. Yeah. Good acting on that show. Everyone's bringing their fucking A game. Top tier, like first rate production all around. The whole crew, the like I said, the visual effects artists, the direction, the editing, the music, the actors, stunt coordinators. Let's see. Let's just go down the list. We got like 6 minutes left of the podcast. So let's see.
Wait, what are we doing?
Just like trying to fill up time to finish out the rest of the episode. I'm just listing like the entire production staff of like a major motion picture or television program.
We can talk about the movie that we just watched.
Oh, what's that?
The Soho movie.
Oh yeah, The Last Night in Soho.
That was fucking crazy. You guys should all watch that. The twist at the end is fucking will like rock your socks off.
Yeah, it was I watched it when it came out, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. It was definitely fun watching it with you.
I wanted to watch it, and Forrest was like, no, let's not. I didn't like it. But then I like convinced him, or maybe we were just like really desperate one night trying to find something to watch.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, let's put it on.
And we don't have a new House of the Dragon episode. It's like we're out in the middle of a scorching desert. And we'll take any, morsel of juice we can get. So, yeah, she wanted to watch it like 2 nights in a row. I shot it down the first night, and then the second night I was like, okay, like we'll watch it. Like if you want to. You got a Matt Smith thing, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
He's
like I'm thinking about, because House of the Dragon like reminded me that Matt Smith like exists.
Yeah, right. He's not in that much stuff. He's just he's very selective with his roles. You got to impress him with your script. Yeah, he was in The Crown. He was in this. He was in last time. He was in HOTD. House of the Dragon.
I was like, what?
But yeah, so recently though, he's been playing like a real bastard. He likes the roles where he can call people a dumb slut and chase them around with a butcher knife.
Ever since we finished that movie last night, Forrest has been walking around doing like you sluts and like a British accent.
Yeah, there's like literally multiple scenes where like Matt Smith is just like stalking this chick, chasing her through like Soho. What does Soho even stand for?
I don't know.
We gotta look that up. But it's a district, it's an area in London, I suppose. And he's like 1960s pimp, and he's like an abusive boyfriend / pimp, and he chases her around with a butcher knife and calls her a dirty slut and things of that nature. It's pretty great because he's the doctor. He's like the sweet, kind,
I know,
wholesome doctor.
Seeing him in all these like roles recently where he's like just like horrible, it's like so funny to me because like, oh, I
know, yeah, it's hilarious. Get back here, you slut! No one disrespects me. Oh, it's good, man. Yeah, you love to see him act his heart out. Yeah, but I feel like, if you're gonna watch it, maybe watch it with like a friend or your girlfriend or boyfriend.
It's kind
or
of
a group
spooky.
Of people. Yeah, it's like a good. It's also like a good spooky Halloween movie. Like it's it's October now, so I think it's it definitely could. It left a lot to be desired for me. Like I felt like it had like a lot of potential and didn't quite live up to it, but I think maybe I was a little bit too hard on it the first time I watched it. It's cool to see Edgar Wright kind of breaking out and doing different types of genres, because a lot of directors just kind of stick to the same type of material. Not all directors, but a lot of them like. So it's kind of cool to see him kind of tackle different styles. With this and Baby Driver, I think he's kind of brought down his more like kitschy nature, and he's scaled back his like cartooniness, but it's still present. I think in this it could have even been scaled back even more. Like I appreciated that it was scaled back in Baby Driver, but it was still utilized in key moments with the snappy editing and like the macro insert shots and the sound design. But in this, I feel like if they had just re-edited, they did a second pass in the edit and recut it to be a little bit less goofy, it would have made the horror elements stronger. But yeah, as it stands, it's still definitely a movie I would recommend. So if you're kind of in the mood for a spooky ghost story, it's kind of a psychological thriller, then I would check it out for sure.
Yeah.
It's an original script, an original idea. It's pretty rare to see these days. We got 1 minute left, honey. What, you want to add anything?
I hope that no one could hear my like farts.
No.
I've been like
I can't even hear them.
You haven't?
No.
I've been like releasing these like like these farts.
They don't
during
smell.
This podcast, and like I keep thinking like, oh, like they're gonna hear it. I'm trying to like be.
They can't hear it, babe.
Okay.
They absolutely.
I just
can't
outed
hear it.
myself.
It's okay. We all fart. I mean, most people do. Not me, but most people.
Forrest doesn't fart. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't.
Fake news.
Like, I might fart in my sleep, but like not when I'm awake.
That's like, you guys, that's some bullshit. Right
I've heard of the concept of a fart. I've heard other people farting, but to me, it's kind of a foreign idea.
I feel so bad when, like, for our kids, when, like, we fart in front of them, because sometimes they smell really bad, and, like, our kids just have to, like, live with it.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, do they even notice smells like yet? I feel like they're always like oblivious.
Yeah, like, they don't, like, do or say anything.
They just kind of continue to go about whatever they're doing. Yeah. But yeah, you know, with us, it always gets like a big reaction, especially if we've been eating a lot of like Chipotle that day or something.
We want to eat like these apple chips from Costco that we have, but we literally can't because they make us too farty.
Yeah, it's so sad because they're really good.
And they're like healthy. It's like literally just like dried
There's
apples.
always a trade-off.
But it like makes us so farty.